So guys, recently it's not been very easy getting accommodation in the UK, especially for families, right? And you guys know how important accommodation is. If you're moving to a new country or you just moved to a new country, you have to get accommodation, settle down, and just start living your life. But if you don't have a good place to lay your heads, if you don't have a good accommodation, you will not be settled. So some people have really been finding it very difficult getting a good accommodation and settling down in the UK, both those on study visa and those on work visa. These have made so many families to spend longer time than necessary in their Airbnbs, hotels, or even with relatives. So this has really been a great challenge for so many people who have been finding it very difficult to get accommodation. So in today's video, I want this not to be your portion. If you're planning to move to the UK, you're already in the UK, or you have a temporary accommodation, you don't like it, you want to change, I'm just going to be sharing with you the secrets or tips that can help you get good family accommodation in the UK, not only for families, even as a single person, because you too need a good accommodation as well. I'll be sharing all these and more with you, and also showing you some websites where you can get this accommodation. So please stick with me to the end of this video so that you can get all the details. My name is Tochi. You guys are welcome to my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, like it if you get value from it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, okay? Because I share content on how you can relocate to the UK and basically life in the UK. So please consider sticking around with me. And to all my returning subscribers, you guys are wonderful. You're welcome back to my channel. Before I continue, this video is brought to you in partnership with LemFi. It's a trusted app that me and my friends used to send money back to Africa instantly. LemFi allows residents of the UK and Canada to send money to Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Benin, Tanzania, Uganda, and Rwanda at zero fees. Yes, there are no hidden charges at all, and the recipient receives the money instantly. Trust me, they have the best rates that you can find in the market, so you would always get your complete value for money. Listen guys, with LemFi, you don't have to worry about losing your money or anybody scamming you of your hard-earned money. You don't even have to worry yourself about looking for who will exchange money for you to send back home and all that stress. You can easily send money using your LemFi app. It's very fast, easy to use, and completely free. And then you can sleep well knowing that the recipient will definitely get the money immediately you send it. So to get started, you can download the app with my referral link in the description box to get 10% cash back on your first transactions above £100, capped at £50. Alternatively, you can download the LemFi app directly from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and enter my code Tochi to benefit from this offer. So please hurry now and download the LemFi app and begin to send money to Africa for free. And don't forget to use my code Tochi. Now guys, back to the video. See, I honestly don't understand why it has been very difficult for some people to get accommodation in the UK, both those who moved on study visa and those who moved on work visa. I really don't know exactly what the cause is, but this has been the situation of so many people. Normally people just book Airbnbs or hotels or even stay with relatives for a short while. It's usually a temporary arrangement because they stay there while they sort out their accommodations, right? But now they end up staying there longer than anticipated, thereby spending so much money than they budgeted. So this has really been a major challenge for so many people. It has been a great concern because obviously guys, you agree with me that if you don't sort out your accommodation, you're not really settled in a new country. There's just this thing about getting your own place. There's this fulfillment that comes with the fact that you have your own accommodation. And then with children in the picture, it just makes the whole thing even more difficult because you are even under pressure for your children to settle down and start school. And then you realize that some landlords are not even giving accommodation to families. Yes, some landlords or leasing agents tell you that they're not giving accommodation to families. I don't know why. why, but maybe it's because of their personal reasons, I don't know. Truth be told, students or those on study visa usually find it more difficult to get accommodation because most landlords are not willing to give out their houses to students, especially because they really don't have any known source of income, and then they're only allowed to work just 20 hours a week. So some landlords are not even sure that these students can pay up their rent, right? So they are just not ready to give out their houses to students. It's even easier for those on work visa because they have a known employment, a known source of income, and they can easily pay their rent, right? Even with that, it is still difficult for these people to get accommodation. I know somebody personally who has come to the UK on a work visa and has spent so much money in her hotel room because it's been very difficult to get accommodation. For some people, they are really lucky because their employers provide like a temporary accommodation for them where they can stay for a while before they are able to sort themselves out, right? But for some people, you're on your own. So this has not really been easy, especially with the fact that for students, most of the accommodations provided by the universities are suitable for single people, and maybe for couples without children, just for a man and his wife or partner, right? So this makes it even more difficult for them. Because landlords are not forthcoming with renting their houses to students. The things that these landlords ask for, very ridiculous. Like, thinking about it right now, the things some of these landlords ask for, like, I don't even understand the ridiculous requirement they ask for. Some of them ask for 6 months rent, some even ask for 1 year rent, right? How do you expect somebody who doesn't have a job, who doesn't have any known source of income, he's here on a study visa, where do you expect such person to raise 6 months rent from? Even those on work visa find it very difficult sometimes to pay their rent monthly, talk more of giving you 6 months rent at once. So these people know that it's very difficult or even impossible for some of these students to raise this, and that is why they ask you for these things. So if you see any landlord who is asking you to pay 6 months rent at a stretch, or even 1 year rent, or asking for any ridiculous thing, just know that he doesn't want to give you his house. This is why most people advise the main applicant to come first. When you come first, you can basically sort out yourself, go through all the inconveniences, and find a good accommodation for yourself. Then you can bring your dependents. It doesn't mean that coming with your dependent at work doesn't work. It just means that if you come alone, you take your time to find a good accommodation for your family. You will really not be in a hurry to settle for any kind of accommodation that you see, right? You will take your time and find a good accommodation befitting for your family that is close to your workplace or close to your children's school, the school you love your children to go to, close to a bus station and all that. This doesn't mean that if you come with your family that you will still not find a good accommodation, but you know, it's just good that you take your time and do things right. One very important tip I would like to share with you guys before I forget is that while you are in that Airbnb, especially as a student looking for an accommodation, don't let the fact that you've not been able to get accommodation limit you. You can start looking for a job. If you're lucky to get a job soon enough, then you'll be able to get an accommodation faster, right? Because the landlord will see that you have gotten a job, you've gotten a source of income, then they might consider giving you that accommodation. Another thing you must note is that if you're planning to get an accommodation in the UK, you'll be required to get a guarantor, somebody who has lived in the UK for more than 2 years, or even a British citizen, right? Most employers serve as guarantors to their employees, especially for those who are on work visa. So anybody who has basically lived in the UK for more than 2 years or who is a British citizen can be your guarantor, especially those who are homeowners, right? So you should take note of that. Basically, some of the things I expected of you is your contract, your employment letter, and things like that. Some even require your pay slips and all that. So try and put all that together if you're searching for a house. Now let's talk about some of the good websites where you can actually get good accommodation at affordable prices. Number one on my list is RightMove. RightMove is a very good website to get accommodation in the UK. So many people have gotten accommodations here. Even if you want to buy a house, you can check for houses available in your area on RightMove, okay? So on this website, you can search based on your location, based on the kind of house you're looking for, the number of your family. If you go on this website, website, you see all the details that's expected of you. So when you put in all these details, you see suggestions on different kinds of house based on the information that you have given. The kind of house you're looking for, or the house that suits your description will be suggested to you, close to the area you're looking for and all that. So if you want a 3-bed house, 4-bed house, shared accommodation, flat, apartment, whatever, depending on the details you have put in there, suggestions will be given to you. Then you can make your choice. And the good thing is that you will see the prices there as well, right? You would have an idea of the prices of this house, what it will cost you to move, so you can check your pocket, weigh your budget, and see if it's something that you can afford, if it's something that is within your budget, and then you can go for it, right? There's also room for negotiations, really, don't forget that. So when you go to talk to the landlords or leasing agents, you can talk to them and see if they can change the prices or if they can adjust it in any way to suit your budget. Okay, you can go for viewing, go and talk to them and see if they will change it. The next website where you can get a good accommodation is Zoopla. Zoopla is very good as well. So many people have gotten their accommodations via this website. So you can narrow your search based on your postcode or exactly the place or location where you want this house. Okay, so you can even use your workplace, for instance, and look for a house. You can use the postcode of your workplace and look for a house close to that place, right? So if you go on this website, they even have an app, right? So you can put your details, the kind of house you're looking for, if it's a 2-bed, 3-bed, the size of your family. Are you a family of 3, 4, you know, the number of children you have, because some people don't even want to give out their houses to those that have children, and that's the truth. So some of those kind of landlords would ask you if you have children and the number of children, so they will know whether to give you their house or not. Okay, and suggestions will come up in the postcode that you have chosen, and then you can make your choice. There's also this website called Spare Room. It's also a website where people get accommodations as well, and the good thing about this website is that you can get any kind of accommodation you're looking for. If you're looking for 1-bed house, an apartment, shared apartments, any kind of apartment, a flat, any kind of house you're looking for, you can get it based on your choices and preferences, right? You basically put in your details there based on the kind of house you're looking for, the kind of flatmates you want to have, your choices, what you love, things like that. If you love dogs, if you love pets and all that, right? We also have a website called Gumtree, right? You can get a good accommodation on Gumtree. Landlords actually put out their houses on this website, so you'll be asked to put in your details as well, the kind of house you're looking for, the duration, like how long you would want to stay in that accommodation and all that. This website is really good for those looking for temporary accommodation, really, because they'll ask you the duration, like how long you want to stay and all that. So there are so many websites where you can search for accommodations of your choice. There's even another one called Open Rent. There's On the Market. There's Amber. I've talked about it on my channel as well. You can book a good student accommodation of your choice on Amber website. I'll leave their link in the description box, right? You can also go to their offices. Before, during COVID, you couldn't really go to offices and ask. You basically just do that online, but now most of their offices are open, so you can easily walk into any of the estate manager's office and ask for the accommodation they have available at the moment. So you go for viewing. If you like the house and meet all their requirements and do all the paperwork, the house is yours. Okay, so please, no dulling, don't dull yourself. You have to be very proactive if you want to get a good accommodation in the UK. The truth is that it is very difficult getting an accommodation from your home country, because I've seen questions like that a lot, right? It's very difficult. Most landlords want to see that you are in the UK, and then it's even easier if you're on ground, because you're able to see the accommodation with your eyes, see if you like it or not. So just don't worry yourself. When you move into the UK, you would do all these things, find a good accommodation for yourself, for your family. If you're single, good for you. You would also get the accommodation of your choice and you will be fine. Okay, so yeah, I hope this video helps. We've come to the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye bye.